Welcome to Creative Living, where we help you live your most creative life. I'm Jane Manzuris. Well, it's almost time for the kids to go back to school, so we thought we'd give you some tips to ease back into school mode. But first, here's what's coming up on the show. We have some great food ideas for back-to-school snacks, and we take a Sunday drive that everyone in the family will dig. Plus, we make a wine glass out of old mesquite wood. That and so much more on this episode of Creative Living. We are here with registered dietitian Robert Carter to talk about kids' eating habits as they head back to school. Robert, why is it important to set good, healthy eating habits early as the kids go back to school?
Well, it's really important to set good eating habits early as kids head back to school and early in their life, because we know if we don't start eating things early, we don't eat them later in life. So we know that kids who don't eat vegetables, kids who don't eat a variety of foods become adults who don't eat vegetables, and adults who don't eat a variety of foods.
So you should always be giving them something to try and introducing it into their palate when they're younger.
Yes, absolutely, because the more opportunities we get to expose our palate to new flavors, the more likely we are to embrace them.
So what can parents do to then reinforce some of those healthy eating habits as the kids go off to school? Do you have any tricks?
Yeah, I think the number one thing parents can do is modeling, right? So if you're a parent and you're not eating vegetables and you're not eating fruits and you're not eating a variety of things, then your kid's not going to eat a variety of things, whether or not you give that to your kid. So that's number one. Number two is to make sure there's always something ready for the kids to have.
Now you teach kids how to eat healthy.
Yes.
What are some of the secrets you have to getting them to eat the good foods and continue eating good foods?
Well, my number one secret with kids is just ask them questions. Because a lot of times, we have parents come in and they say, my kid won't eat this, my kid won't eat that. So I sit there and I look at the kid and then I say, well, why don't you eat that? And then they say, well, I don't like the texture. And then if we know there's a texture problem, then we have something to work with. But if we just assume kids are picky and they don't like things without any information, we can't make any changes.
Is that textural feeling, is that one of the biggest obstacles that you encounter when talking to kids about eating healthy, or what are some of the obstacles?
Texture is a big obstacle. Another obstacle oftentimes is flavor, right? Because as humans, we're predisposed to sweet flavors. And so if you start out as a kid and you're eating sugar and you're having juice and you're having all of those things, then the second you have something that's bitter or that's a little bit sour or that's a little more savory than you're ready for, you're not going to accept it. And so a lot of times we see kids, they kind of stop eating if it's not sweet foods. And then we go down a spiral.
So Robert, we know that parents these days are very busy. Are there any quick options at the grocery store that they can turn to?
Yes, there absolutely are quick options at the grocery store. And one thing that's really good to know about the quick options, we've made a lot of advancements in vegetable-based snacks. So what we have here, we have some kale chips, we've got some snap pea chips, and we've also got some vegetable chips. So these are made out of sweet potatoes and beets. You can find all kinds of vegetable chips. And then we've got some bars. So these bars are really great because they tend to have some fiber, they tend to have some protein, and they tend to not be too high in sugar. And one thing that's really important to remember when we think about our store-bought snacks, a lot of times we have a fear of processed foods or foods in a bag. Just because it comes in a bag does not mean that it's a bad snack. And we do have this one tool, which is the nutrition facts label and the ingredients. So if you are worried, go ahead and flip that bag or package over, read the ingredients, and if you can understand it, then it's probably gonna be okay.
What can we do snack-wise, whether it's for school, after school, or maybe even for lunch or dinner that the kids would like?
I have two examples here, and one thing I have to say is at work, I call myself a fiber fanatic, and so that's my favorite thing. People in this country don't get enough fiber.
Right.
So anytime I have an opportunity to get vegetables and fruits in front of a kid, that's what I want to do. So this first one here, we've got a kale salad, but it's a special kale salad. And so I call it a chocolate salad. So what we have here is some kale, and we made a chiffonade, which just means we cut it into ribbons. Then we have strawberries and blueberries for a little bit of sweetness.
Yum.
Natural fruit sweetness.
Sure.
Some hemp seeds on top for some protein. And then we brought some cacao nibs here. And normally by themselves, they're kind of bitter.
On your salad?
Yes, but combined with the fruit, it tastes just like a chocolate bar without the added sugar.
Wow, because you've got the bitter with the sugar from the fruit,
yes,
and then you've got a delicious salad there, and it's good for you.
Yes.
And you've got this really cool wrap here for us to try. And this is kale?
So those are collard greens.
Oh, collard greens.
They are from the same family as kale. So this is really simple. We're just going to make some little wraps.
Okay.
But so we're just going to take some hummus here and spread it on the leaf. Would you like to?
Spread it on?
Yeah.
Sure, I don't know.
Okay.
Is that too much? That was a big dollop of hummus.
No, that's great. So one thing, you want to bring it a little closer this way because we're going to roll it up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so we're basically making a burrito.
I love this.
Out of a leaf.
How
right?
yummy is that? Okay, so hummus is good for you. You've got your greens.
So we've got hummus, we've got our greens, and now we've got a whole selection of things we can put inside. So we've got sprouts, we've got some carrot shreds.
Should we put it in?
Yeah.
Which goes first?
Whatever order you want, because we're rolling it up.
And do we just do them this way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then this one here.
Yes, you got it.
A couple of these are always good.
Yeah.
Some red peppers,
And
sprouts. Yum, top it all off with some sprouts.
Yeah. And have you rolled a burrito?
I have rolled a burrito.
Okay.
Is that peanut sauce?
So that's
peanut butter?
It's peanut butter, and I brought that for dipping.
And I'm going to roll it this way?
Yeah. So,
Oh, even with the hard edge.
yeah.
Look at that. And I think this is cute how you have these all tied up.
Yeah.
And this makes a great, delicious snack. Let me get this rolled up lovely and fine. And how fun. You've got a little activity to dip it right in, and it's a delicious snack.
Yeah, and that took us all of a minute.
It did.
Maybe.
Great information. Thank you so much, Robert. Kids today learn by using a computer, but some may not always have one. So Connect to Compete is helping students get these much-needed devices.
The Sunny Slope area is a very diverse area, and there are several pockets of pretty low socioeconomic status, a lot of working poor parents, and sometimes the kids don't have the opportunities at home. And we're working with Cox to help students get computers in the home.
We're proud to partner with the Washington School District to help bridge the digital divide in our community. We're at Sunny Slope School distributing more than 60 new Chromebook devices to families at the Washington School District who qualify for our Connect to Compete program. Connect to Compete is our low-cost internet for low-income qualifying families with school-aged children in the household. Access to the internet is critical. It's no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. And for our students, they need internet to be checking homework, to be communicating with their teachers. So that's why our Connect to Compete program is so important to be supporting our community. Our volunteers are showing the families how to utilize this device and also showing them where they can find digital literacy training online for free provided by Cox Communications.
When you watch some of the kids with the computer in their hands, it's almost like just giving them a magical instrument that they then can go home and explore and come back and talk to teachers, come back and talk to their friends about the things that they're learning and that they're being given the opportunity to learn from is pretty amazing. And when you see a kid's face light up to the opportunities that they're going to have, it's pretty magical.
I never had a laptop, so I'm happy that I got a new one today. It will help me in school. I could go on Google and do math stuff on the computers.
I want my family to be proud of me and do good things in life. I'm gonna keep this until I go to college. Gonna rock it. Thank you, Cox, for giving me a laptop, and for the internet, I appreciate Cox. Cox is the best.
It means a lot to the students and the families to know that people outside of their norm care, and they care enough to provide opportunities to their children and to them to be able to give their families things that sometimes we take for granted. It's definitely a family enrichment opportunity, and we so appreciate everything that Cox has done to help make this possible.
Giving back to the community is a big part of Cox Communications, and today is just another example of how we do that. If any families are interested in signing up for the Connect to Compete program, they can visit our website at cox.com/low-cost-internet.
As the school year approaches, it's important to get bedtimes back on track. Kids need quality sleep to function all day long. They should be getting anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, depending on their age. Stick around, we've got more creative living coming up. Turning a boring backyard into a dream space that'll be the talk of the neighborhood. And we take you on a Sunday drive that will be the envy of any little or big boy in your life. Creative Living is brought to you in part by KaiScissors.com, styled to offer superior cutting action for quilting, crafting, and dressmaking. For more information on their line of products, from scissors, knives, and rotary cutters, visit KaiScissors.com. A mediocre outdoor space can become a dream backyard with the right hardscape. At RCP Block and Brick, they've got the supplies you need to create your dream space.
For the first time, as soon as they come to the backyard, especially in the evening when the lights are on and the fireplace is on, they like take a step back and say, whoa, you got a nice yard. One day my wife and I were sitting out here having some coffee in the morning, and we were looking out towards just an empty hill. I said, you know, that's a lot of square footage up there that isn't getting used. She's like, well, do you have anything in mind? And I said, yes, hold on one sec. So I ran inside real quick, grabbed a piece of paper and a pencil, came back out, and in a matter of about 5 minutes, I sketched out a little drawing for her. And I said, this is probably what I have in mind here.
Rob came in with a sketch on a piece of paper, and it was like really rough. But what was great, because it gave us an idea of what he wanted to accomplish. We were able to direct him in the right direction, give him a couple choices on what walls to use, what stone veneer he could use.
Veneer stone, I think, is my favorite. If I had a chance, I'd probably veneer stone my room if my wife didn't put the stop on that. So.
And from there, we helped him out with some installation videos and I believe some contractor referrals to get an initial quote before he started the project himself.
This entire project from start to finish took about a year and 2 months.
I would have expected Robert to maybe hire a contractor because that is an incredible job. I mean, he did an amazing job.
Well, my crew was basically a crew of one, and mostly my nephew, my sons would come around, and the way I'd get these guys to come over, I'd say, hey, I'm throwing a barbecue this weekend, come on over. And they didn't know that I had shovels waiting for them so they can help me actually dig it out and stuff. I told them I'd feed them afterwards, but you know, they had to do a little work first and stuff, so. I would recommend a lot of planning, preparation, really talking to skilled workers that know how to do this type of work before you even lay the first stone. RCP Block and Brick has a lot of useful information, whether it's on their web or just talking to the guys over there. They're more than happy to talk to you about any kind of design or any kind of wall or something that you're wanting to build.
What's big and yellow with a very mean bite? We show you as we head off on our Subaru Sunday Drive.
Hi, I'm Burton Hughes, your partner in adventure, and this is Subaru Sunday Drives. Today we're going to live every child's fantasy. We get to operate some heavy equipment at Dig This, right here in Las Vegas.
As a kid, I was always enamored with anything that was a vehicle. So I'm thinking of being a kid again and operating this heavy equipment, and I'm all smiles on the inside. I just don't want to break it. I know I could drive a Subaru. I think I'm signing my life away. It actually had verbiage in there about my heirs, and you know I have a DNR. Is it too late to say, please resuscitate me? But here goes nothing.
So we're going to do a brief safety orientation. You're already geared up by virtue of the vest. Number one, just go out there and enjoy it, okay? Settle down, okay? Just go out and enjoy it. I'm going to put you through everything that machine can do systematically, hands-on, so that you get a good feel for it before you ever even have to move it, okay? That's about it. Any questions? Good. Let's go. Dig.
Is there any particular goal here other than just having a lot of fun?
Yeah, you're going to try to stay alive. Yeah, no, we got a full program. We're going to put you through.
Okay, you're going to tell me, you're going to be kind of telling me what to do and all that fun stuff. Yes, you are. It feels like you're at the carnival. Oh yeah, your work here is done. Well, that was a blast. I still feel like I'm about 7 years old right now and living a real life Tonka toy experience. So it was amazing. Until next time, I'm Burton Hughes for Subaru Sunday Drives.
Another back to school tip: if your little one is nervous about starting school, see if the school offers visits before the year starts. That way they can get familiar with their new classroom. Next up on the show, we crash the craft room of a nurse to find out how to turn a piece of wood into a wine glass. And one thing you should do now to get your kids ready for starting school.
Explore more ways that people are leading healthier lives. Head over to Yurview.com for additional videos from your health.
In our next Craft Room Crash, I head to the Tall Pines of Flagstaff to see how a nurse by day uses mesquite wood to create beautiful wine glasses at night. This is Craft Room Crash, and I'm in Flagstaff, Arizona, outside DIYer Jeff Seff's house. Now, he says when he finds inspiration for his next project, he runs straight to the workshop to see what turns up. So let's go crash his craft room and find out what Jeff is making today.
Hi, Jane.
Hey, Jeff, where's your craft room?
It's a Quonset hut out back.
Oh my gosh, look at the Quonset. This is so cool. And the mountain peaks are even cooler. It looks like an airplane hangar. What exactly is a Quonset hut?
It's a metal building. It's made of galvanized steel. It makes me feel like I'm working outside, like I'm not even in a building. I'm a nurse by day.
Okay.
And woodworking is my hobby, my craft. It's my refuge.
What's this?
That is mesquite.
Look at how pretty it is.
That turns into this after I use that big chainsaw over there to cut the wood up.
And then it goes into
It goes onto the lathe where I turn it round. I really believe that anybody is capable of learning how to use the lathe. Okay.
What are we making today?
How about a wine glass?
I mean, there's really no goofing around. This is some serious stuff. Ah! Wow.
How does mesquite taste?
It tastes good.
So how thick a base do you want on it?
I would like the base to be 3 millimeters, please. I don't know. Wow.
So now I'm happy with the way it's starting to look. So we're going to take and hollow this out to accept the cut.
Oh, I see. And you have to make it snug in there.
You want to do it?
No? Well.
You can do it.
Okay, I'll do it. How do I do this?
Push in on it. Okay, what you're going to do.
Oh, yeah, this is good. Go for it. Yeah. Oh, nice, short, even strokes.
And then glue both parts together.
I mean, that is wood turning. Jeff, thanks for having me in your Quonset.
You're welcome.
Did I do okay to come back?
You did fantastic.
You did just fine, Jane.
Yes, you did.
Thanks so much. All right, thanks so much to Jeff. Now we all know how to make a wooden stemmed wine glass, and that is what Jeff is making in his craft room. What are you making in your craft room? I'll see you next time. Okay, I need 6 more. Don't go anywhere. We've got more to come on Creative Living. How a simple schedule change can make the entire school year easier. Before we go, here's some tips on how to ease back into the school year. First, remember to start the day off right with a good breakfast and try to eat as a family with a meal consisting of protein and fiber. Avoid the sugary cereals. Switching from a summer to school schedule can be stressful to everyone in the household, so practice your morning school routine a few days in advance. This will alleviate mayhem for the entire family. For your little ones, practice good hygiene habits before they head back to school. There are a lot of germs at school, and washing hands can keep everyone healthy all year long. Don't forget to get all the proper sports physicals, eye checks, and immunizations as well. And establish a specific space like the family office as the official homework area. And make sure to remove distractions like the TV or video games from this area so kids can concentrate on their homework tasks. Most importantly for parents, breathe. There's only 12 years of this. Thanks so much for joining us here on Creative Living. I hope you have a great school year. I'm Jane Manzuris, and I'll see you next time.